Hello, everyone. It's Tuesday night, so here on Dire Bear, that means it's our Espergenesis sci-fi campaign. I'm your GM for the evening, Jason, from over at the Nerd Eternal Network. And joining me as usual is Sarah playing Kat, Eric playing Adrian, Patrick playing Hull, and Zach playing Francis.
Howdy, howdy.
Uh, let's see. Last session was a little trauma-inducing. We had a Esper-powered stalker show up at a concert, big brawl on the stage, and said stalker got himself decapitated in front of tens of thousands of, teenagers. Most of them were fleeing, so. But all in all, the party has probably made the psychiatrists on this planet quite a bit of money. Now, do any of you remember what happened after that?
Danru got kidnapped.
Indeed. Believe he went
By
back. What was that, Zach?
by the crew of the second ship that we encountered whenever we came to this system
Right.
that accidentally shot at us.
I'm sure it was accidental. I'm certain it was accidental. But anyway, he had gone backstage because in the attack, Stella had been injured pretty badly. She was still mobile. She still managed to get her away, but he had gone back to offer his aid. As a sentinel, he can, heal. And yes, y'all lost contact. You went to investigate. Someone was jamming broadcasts from back there. Stella, her normal security, were all knocked out on the floor. I believe Francis ran up to the roof. Jade just ran outside. Out
Yes,
the side
sir.
door. And yes, Francis saw a ship taking off with Danru being strapped to a wall inside as its hatches closed. And yes, the captain of that previous ship staring down at him. So we will start up there. It's pretty much pandemonium. What are y'all doing?
Kat doesn't know much about anything about this because she went to the stage.
I
Oh wait, did Francis announce it on the comms?
yeah, Francis is getting on the group team comms about it.
Okay. You are well outside the jamming area. It was really just a small area where the attack went down. Alright, what's Francis telling?
Uh, Danru's been it's been a long ass day. I just tell him exactly what I just saw.
Francis, use your words.
I do apologize.
Alright,
But yeah,
so
I know exactly what I just saw.
Alright, so all of you hear Francis start screaming into the mic, or into the comms about Danru being taken aboard a ship. Jade, from outside on the ground, also chimes in. She sees the ship flying away. She's, of course, at ground level too far away to make out any details of any people or anything.
Kat is going to start hoofing it probably towards the roof or to intercept anyone coming back down or in.
Okay. Francis, are you staying on the roof or are you heading back in?
Staying on the roof.
Alright. Kat, you get to the roof. You don't run into anybody unusual. You get up there. Francis is still standing there. It's starting to rain pretty heavy.
she'll get on the comms. Be like, I'm assuming one of you guys is looking for a way to stop that ship.
I am tapped out, but tracking it.
Fuck.
Yeah. Mr. Decapitated Asshole took most of my power to deal with today. Unless you let me rest for an hour, then I'll...
Can someone get on the comms and see about shutting that ship down, not letting them leave the planet?
Well, there's police on hand, so you can run and talk to them.
Okay, she will do that.
They put out essentially an APB on it. It was from your description, they figure it was a mostly inner atmosphere craft. It might be capable of making it to orbit. You know, they're not sure exactly what model it is. They of course start questioning you about why someone would want to kidnap Dan Rue.
Okay, look, someone got kidnapped. Stop asking us fucking questions and do your job.
He's the most law-abiding one out of all of us. We have no idea why anyone would want to capture him.
Several of the cops turn and look at you as you say at the way you phrase that.
Oh, come on! You
not-
hired us off to protect somebody. You expect all of us to be squeaky clean. No one here's a
This is the
murderer.
police. This is the planet's police that have shown up, not Mortimer or Stella or anybody. No, this is just the popo that have rolled in since the havoc went down.
And she's still saying the same thing. She's like, we were hired to protect somebody. We haven't murdered anyone, but we've definitely got some parking violations in history.
One of the techniques like, all right, I'll assume you just mean he's the squeaky clean one.
Yeah, dude is a saint. Comparatively.
As for you, sir, this is our job. We've
Then
put
do
out
it.
We've put out the APB. Others in the police department will be tracking down the ship. We're finding out all the information we can to try to find out who these people are, why they would be doing this.
Here. And he hands him all the information from the people whose ship that he got into.
Oh, well, then
Yeah, he did get into that ship.
There. Does that help?
Yes, and he starts excuse me a moment. He starts, you see him hitting on his data pad where he's clearly forwarding it to other places. Was any of that information, the information you've given him, as he looks at it, would anything be obviously obtained through illegal means?
No. As far as
You
know,
say no,
what
but your
it
face is like, maybe.
Yeah, well, no, I'm trying to find a way to describe this. How it looks is when he got into the ship to tell them to stop shooting at them, which he included in there that they shot at them that they were shot at by these people previously. That he did what he usually does and did his usual search and everything of all the people, manifest and that kind of stuff. Like stuff that will be publicly available on the vessel.
Okay.
He has. So he handed that over. Stuff that is obviously obtained illegally, on the other hand, he keeps in his head.
Where no one can prove you got it. You really do run into a mind reader at some point.
They'd never find their way out.
Well, that depends if they're better at it than you or not.
They could be better at it all they want to. They'll get lost.
Alright. Time passes. They get the crowd essentially out of the stadium.
I'll say if it takes more than an hour, I'm taking a short rest just to get my powers back.
Okay, you can do that. They will come by periodically and ask you questions, but that's just conversation.
And get dirty looks. It's like,
That doesn't stop them. They've gotten dirtier looks from rougher looking people than you.
he's still gonna give dirty looks though.
Still has regular security, gets her out and to one of the local hospitals. Mortimer comes by and thanks you for the job you did. I'm sorry about your friend. That's bizarre.
We're almost used to it by now, unfortunately.
It's like, do you need us anymore?
No, with the stalker, he kind of looks over where the body has been removed, but the stains are still on the stake, dealt with. We had no indicating. There was nothing indicating there was any more than just the one. We should be okay now.
Cat kind of stands up, sticks out her hand to shake his.
And he shakes hands with you.
Looks like our business is concluded, sir.
Oh yes, your money will be in your account by morning.
Thank you.
Or the rest of it. He'd have paid some up front.
How much did we get paid for this? Because I don't think that was ever mentioned.
I don't know. I'll have to go through my notes later.
You're cutting in and out a little bit, or it might just be me.
Oh, if it keeps up, let me know.
Okay.
Welcome to the fold.
Him I can still kind of understand. You, it's every third word. It's like, wait, I need a Rosetta Stone.
Welcome to the fold came out pretty good though. All right. So in an hour or so, y'all managed to get things wrapped up with the police. They have your contact information. They stopped just shy of telling you not to leave the system. Let's see. Do you tell them about any other incidents you've had?
Well, I already mentioned the guy shooting at him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they've already that there's already a report in their system about that. But as far as, like you said, why would anybody want to kidnap? You don't go into the fact that you have enemies. Okay.
Nope.
See, we're working for an archaeologist. There seems to be a conspiracy to, flub up his work.
Powered by these ancient alien race, this can possess people. Also, most of us are wanted by crime syndicates. Did we leave anything else out?
We're not criminals. I'm not saying we're criminals ourselves. Only that crime syndicates have an interest in us.
Honestly, it doesn't seem like there's a whole lot we can tell them that would be safe to tell
Or even
them.
really useful. I mean,
Yeah.
But
these people don't seem connected to anyone we've encountered before.
Yeah, on the other downside is Danru is the only one that had a fairly clean backstory. So none of our normal enemies pop into. So unfortunately, we don't have enemies to think about.
That's true. As far as you know, he didn't have any enemies. In fact, he once spoke about basically having outlived all of his enemies.
Mm-hmm.
So either he was wrong about that, or they're targeting Danru to get at one or more of us.
Either way, I'm all for ending their lives.
That seems a little drastic. I'm sure a firm scolding is all they really need. Alright.
Firm scolding with the end of a pistol.
Alright, so I assume you head back to the roustabout.
Mm-hmm.
When you get there, Jim's like, "Holy crap!"
Did we make the evening news?
Yeah. One of the channels is actually in trouble for showing the decapitation live.
It's gonna suck on like 15 different
This
levels.
is actually like way more vicious than I've ever seen Danru. And then he kind of looks at you. Where is Dan? No, the cops didn't keep him, did they?
He's been taken.
He got
And
kidnapped.
yes, he's been taken, but not by the police.
Who?
Fuck if I know.
We actually bring up the captain we mentioned the captain who we encountered earlier.
We keep calling him the captain. Did I ever give him a name?
Not that I recall.
Alright, let's see. What names do I have written down here? Aaron Palmer, but I think that was the...
That was the other dude that was,
That was the guy that set off the creeper by accident.
yeah.
Mortimer, Stella, Cedric...
Bob Johnson.
Well, if I ever gave him a name, I have lost it. So yes, we'll go with Bob Johnson. Very nondescript, very human name. Jim's like, do we need to get the ship ready? I mean, are they trying to leave the planet with him?
They've already left the planet.
I thought
You don't actually know that.
Oh, okay.
There's a possibility they could. It could go into atmosphere, so we should be ready to at least do the same.
Yeah, the ship that picked him up off the roof, Patrick, was not their full-size spaceship. It was like a
Okay.
Star Trek shuttlecraft-sized thing.
Since we've gotten close up and personal with that ship, and Adrian's also dove into that ship, could we trace where that ship is?
I'm trying to think of how much privacy there would be.
With less than legal means, if needs be?
Oh, with less than legal means? Absolutely.
How less than legal are we going to be?
Essentially hacking into the Port Authority.
It's one of those, do we feel like being that illegal?
Well, it's hardly the first time. Though usually you
Better
do that
question.
in smaller systems with kind of, more backwoods sort of worlds. These guys are likely to have, pretty decent security.
Mm.
And if you want to give me a computer use roll, you can see what you can find through legal means.
Yeah. I'm ready to-
Alright. I'm going to try that too.
Okay.
Let's see.
Could Cat use bribery?
Because of that.
If you were...
Like, would this planet be far... Is this planet too far out for her to use any kind of
Yes, it-
relation to her name?
No, actually, this place is... It's only slightly off the beaten path. It's fairly industrial.
Skadoosh.
Yowza.
Or, we can just get a natural 20.
Alright, what Adrian finds is, a record that the ship has arrived. But not, like, specifically what dock it's in or what landing pad it's on. Not its address, basically. They keep that a little more confidential.
Mm.
With that roll, Hull manages to get the dock number and all that, but that's because it's come up in a police report. The police have apparently locked that ship down.
If you question, is he breaking in and out for anyone else but me? Am I just like...
He's coming through pretty clear for me.
Okay, then it's just my computer. Never mind.
If I start breaking up or anything, y'all let me know.
Okay, you just broke up a bit for me.
Hang on, let me see if this other computer is done. If I can shut it off, it may beat my bandwidth. Oh well, I don't know what that thing's doing. Tried to sign into it and it just froze up on the sign-in screen.
We broke his computer.
Yeah, apparently. I unplugged it from my network though, so it's not. It definitely won't be interfering with anything now.
Okay. It could just be my computer being a jerk too, so we'll find out.
Alright, carrying on then. So as I was saying, police report, Hull found a police report that references exactly where it's at. The police have essentially locked down the ship. The report just says that it's there's a missing persons case going on, or that it's locked down because of some kind of involvement in a missing persons. There is,
But it's
nothing in the report about they've arrested anybody or taken anybody in for questioning.
probably because no one's on the ship.
But they've rolled up to the ship's landing gear and put a really big boot on it or something. Whatever it is they do.
They booted the starship.
If it's in a hangar, they just lock the hangar down. Something of that nature.
We can't go tonight, can we? We at least need some sleep. We all got fucked up.
Yeah.
Jim's
We
like,
got
I'm fine.
half-cocked. I appreciate the support, Jim, but
Well, I'm just saying
yeah.
if we needed to fly somewhere, I'm good to go.
Yeah, no, yeah.
I am not volunteering to be, point
The
man
unfortunate-
in an assault. It's not really my thing.
Oh, come on, Jim.
Well, I have some medical experience. Jim, what are yours? This is out of character now. I'm bringing this up because Danru was sort of the medic of our team.
Oh yeah.
And the tank.
Mm-hmm.
He was essentially our group's paladin, and
So what you're saying is, going forward, your team may actively try to recruit somebody to fill that niche.
yes.
Potentially.
Yeah, I might post something, see if I can find somebody interested in playing a space cleric.
We'll just have to
Clerics in space!
we sleep, and then in the morning we plan.
Alright. The night passes uneventfully, as far as you know. You get up in the morning, there's a message from the police. They have found the abandoned, we'll call it a shuttlecraft. basically it was stashed in a warehouse in a not necessarily a bad part of town, but not exactly a good part of town. You know, it is an area where you had a plant shut down, so there was some empty industrial kind of space. It landed. It was unloaded. All the computers on the thing were wiped. They clearly made their exit with land vehicles. Which are still in pretty heavy use on this world, so. They do not have any kind of make or model on the vehicle, though. Overall, the report does not sound promising. And of course, there's, reminders that if you remember anything else that might be helpful, or, anything you think of that you hadn't mentioned to them before, any little bit of information you might give them could be useful for the investigation, yada, yada, yada. Basically like the cops do on every police show when they're leaving somebody they've been talking to.
Yeah.
If you think of anything else, here's our card. There's a fair amount of space traffic, so they wouldn't be able to shut down the ports or anything. Though they are certainly keeping an eye out for people matching the description of those individuals.
Is Danru's armor something that either one of the tech boys could get into to try and track down?
Yep.
His
I've done
rig?
it before.
I was gonna say, I
Possibly.
thought Adrian had done it before. I think he did it actually last session to listen. And
I think you kind of have to know. Well, the trick is y'all have comm units to share, so that kind of connects, y'all's gear.
Could he be tracked through the comm unit?
If the comm unit is still active, yes, potentially.
worth a shot.
Yeah,
Gonna give
still
it a
active,
shot.
not being jammed, all that kind of jazz.
I'll give. I'll give Adrian. You get advantage on your stuff anyway if you go Black Hat, don't you?
If I go Black Hat, yes. However, in this case, I'm not going Black Hat because I know that these people have used jamming before. I'm just going to use remote connection and just go right through that, in case it is.
All right, then I will give you advantage on any computer rules.
Okay.
Okay.
So the tech boys are sitting there. So, Adrian, give me a roll.
Okay. Let me double check a thingy here. Okay. Normal. Come on. Oh, right, advantage. I like that 22 better.
I know, I kind of like the 9, but okay.
Nope.
Oh, yeah, just let you know in case you were filling out the room. Alright, so with the 22, you are able to track Danru's communicator. Pull up the coordinates on a map. It appears to be on the shore of one of the rivers. As you know, the city you're in was called Five Forks? Yeah, Five
Forks.
So there's five different rivers that run through the city.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it appears to be on the shore of one of those.
Okay.
Close to a residential section.
Right.
Do we go check it, or do we assume that it got dumped?
Honestly, it's our only lead, so we might as well go and poke at it.
Can you? Is it on? Can you like connect to it audibly?
Well, I am connected to it. I'm actually just listening through it, seeing if there's anything going on.
You hear the wind, you hear the rustling of grass, an occasional animal. City
Still our only
noise is off in the distance.
Still our only connection. That's good.
Can you ping its location?
Yeah, he's got the coordinates already.
Okay.
That's how he knows it's on
By a
the
river. Down by the river in a van.
Okay.
Do y'all want to make a
Yeah.
ride out there?
How far away is it?
Oh, it's, driving around in town, maybe an hour, hour and a half, depending on how bad traffic is. Yeah, you could also just pass the information on to the police.
There's a very real chance that the police just aren't equipped to deal with
Or they have
the people
more,
who kidnapped them.
Well, that would depend on who kidnapped Ben.
or they really don't, or they really have more to deal with. Period. With us, the whole decapitation thing, and yeah.
That is causing quite a stir. You have had several news outlets asking you for interviews and comments and what have you.
We're a little
just
busy.
Gonna grab people and just head over to a fairly unused road somewhere. Something that's a little like more open that he can work with for 10 minutes.
We're walking.
Oh, shut up! Hold on. Basically, he'll just find. Basically, there's a parking spot that he can stay by for 10 minutes, and he's gonna spend 10 minutes just hands out, just working. Looks like he's building something in the air before he'll just sort of clap his hands together, spread them out, and then Humvee.
Okay, that's a new trick.
Yeah, I'm learning how to make things now. And he gets in and gets into the driver's seat.
All right. Okay. She just jumps in the seat.
All right.
Francis pokes it a few times to make sure it's solid before getting in.
Mm-hmm.
You make a fortune selling these things.
They probably have a time limit.
It does.
This is kind of like a Paladin's Phantom Steed or something, I figure.
Somewhat. It takes 10 minutes to cast, lasts for up to 8 hours, and he can only keep one of them active at a time.
Okay.
But do the people we sell them to know that?
They will in short order.
Sell it to him and then leave the planet.
Well, we're moving, so we just gotta sell the car. I can't take it with us.
If we had Daniel, he could change his face. Oh.
He can pat it on the top and tell him what a good car it is. Great.
Can fit so many despicable people into this car. They have like the worst backstories ever. They're horrible.
Or if they're dead, you can stack them in there like cordwood. It holds a lot more.
There's so many dead bodies in this truck.
Alright, so y'all load up in the Adrian mobile.
Yep. He's gonna drive along.
Well, Adrian's pretty bright. I'm sure you'd have a realistic looking tag on there.
Yep.
Alright, you make it out to the river without any trouble. Only takes about 45 minutes. Traffic was in your favor.
Yeah. Another thing to note, whenever he makes these vehicles, he is automatically considered proficient while driving it and gets expertise.
Oh, nice.
Because he has intrinsic knowledge of everything about that car that he just made.
How large a vehicle can he make?
At this level, it can hold up to 6 people.
Okay. So yeah, a
Uh,
van or an SUV.
at rank 4, it can hold up to 8, and at rank 5, at rank 4, it can traverse over water and can hold up to 8 people. At rank 5, it can become an airborne vehicle. It can hold up to 10.
I'm just picturing you making the Fortnite battle bus. All the players
Do
diving out.
not tempt me, because I considered it.
And also, while we're speaking of forging things, also got a new ability. Do you happen to have stats for a forged construct? I'm talking to you, Jason.
Forged construct. Well, construct is a type of creature.
Well, because the spell that I acquired has the GM game statistics for these creatures.
Alright. And what was it called again?
This is a forged construct.
Alright, it is not in the threat database.
That's the power, by the way.
Oh, okay. Oh, forged vehicle. Okay. Well, I don't have those stats on me at the moment, Patrick, but I will certainly look them up. I'm sure they're in the book somewhere. But
I'll say, give me a second, because I had to do that to find the power sprite stuff. You said forged construct?
Forged construct. I got quick construct at A as a rank of 3 ability.
oh, I found it. Forged construct. So yes, I have stats for it.
Would you mind emailing me those, because that might become pertinent. And the game continues just as we're going.
Yeah. If you get into a fight where you need them or something, I'll make sure to get them to you. Where were we? Oh yes, got to the riverbank, no problem. You beat the bushes for a little while before you finally come across it. And yeah, it's clearly been dumped.
Did we find anything else in the area?
Do we have any surveillance equipment? Because you said we're right by the river bank.
I don't know that you guys really have any. I mean, you can record with your comm unit.
No, I'm talking about
Are there
local
buildings
traffic.
nearby? Yeah.
No, there's a residential zone nearby. Where this exact spot is, it's just kind of empty space that the city hasn't done anything with.
Also, Hull, I tossed the code to you. Used in that channel.
Alright.
Thank you, Eric.
Do we find anything else in the area while we're poking around for the communication device?
Let's see. I'm trying to think what else Danry would have had on him. Because his weapon basically kind of morphs into his rig. And a rig, I think, his rig, particularly, I think, would have to be surgically removed, so they wouldn't have taken that off. Now, if he happened to have anything else in his pocket, pocket knives, watches, any kind of little knickknacks he might have carried around, it would be dumped here too. But I don't really recall him carrying around anything of value. They didn't bother to break it or anything. They clearly just took the comm unit off and chucked it. Give me perception checks. Francis, there's a river here.
Great place to drown
Allegedly.
someone.
appear to be near a river.
Yes. Hole, you also notice the river. And in fact, this may be the first time you've been close to a large river.
Now, first session we were by that river and got attacked.
That was a stream.
So this is more like Mississippi kind of thing.
Maybe not quite as wide as Mississippi, but yes, in that scale though. You are quite taken with it. Cat, and to a lesser degree, Adrian. You notice, other than where y'all have tromped around, the grass doesn't seem to be stepped down. There's no real footprints.
You wanna bet they just dropped it flying over?
Probably.
You know, it's closer to the shore. Conceivably, somebody might have been trying to drop it in the river.
Probably. And the police said something. There's been something said earlier about like a warehouse manufacturing district that had been shut down recently, or gone into disuse, or
Yes.
something.
Where they had abandoned their little shuttle at.
Do we want to go play there?
In an
You
active
can.
crime scene?
Not at the exact location of the active crime scene, just in the general area.
Allegedly around the general area.
Alright. You easily drive over to the warehouse district. Like I said, it's not really a bad part of town. You can this area isn't so much run down as you can tell it's just starting to run down. You know, the company that owned this area has been out of business for maybe a year, so it hasn't deteriorated bad. You find the warehouse that the shuttle was found in. There's these sort of little floating drones that are projecting a beam of yellow light around them. Basically, they've got the place taped off. You know, much like the real tape, it wouldn't stop anybody from walking in. Though, Adrian, you know, and Hull, you know enough about this sort of tech that, yeah, if somebody walks through and breaks that beam, it triggers an alarm or at least a, you know, notice at the police station.
Yeah.
And depending on the model of drone, it might snap a picture of you when you did it. Or they could be recording all the time. It just depends on how they're set up.
Do we see anything obvious around the place? Any business names? Anything like that?
The name of the company that used to own the facility is still up, just where it was already up. There's no indication of who owns it now. Let's see. You do notice the tire tracks leading into the facility, or kind of in and out of the facility. The police use hovering vehicles, so you know that wouldn't have been where the police left anything.
Which do they lead the same direction in and out?
Basically, yes. There's multiple. Would there be multiple tracks? No. There's only the one set though.
If we go around to where it's leading away from the building, what direction does it lead?
Towards the front gate. There was a fence
Past.
around, out onto the street. And then, once on the street, you lose track quick because,
Are there cameras around here?
Might be some on the police drones, but other than that, does not appear to be. It looks like when this place was shut down, they stripped out most of the tech. It's really just kind of the buildings here.
Do we still have the comm information for that ship?
Sure. I mean,
Cat's gonna.
I don't know if you'd have it on you, but you could always call back to the ship, to the roustabout, and ask Jim for it.
She'll do that and contact them from like her comm and be like, "You've got our attention. What do you want?" And try and get someone back on their ship to answer. She doesn't know if there's anyone there, but she's gonna try and raise somebody.
Okay. You get no answers back from this ship. Later in the day, one of the police detectives calls, tells you they really don't have much else to report. They've got a crew going over the impounded ship. The little shuttle was bought off-world. So they're still in the process of trying to track down information on it. The ship itself, he's like, yeah, our techs got on there and started poking around, and they seemed to be a little surprised the thing was spaceworthy. They said it really looks like somebody just took a jalopy and got it working enough, and then kind of fixed up the outside to make it look like something that was in use.
Is this the large ship or just this little tiny ship?
No, this was the ship that shot at you. This was the ship they arrived in.
It was space worthy enough to take pot shots at us.
Yeah, he's like, well, maybe they were exaggerating. They're just saying that it's very old and kind of rickety. And while currently spaceworthy, they would not trust it on any kind of long voyage. They think it may have been set up to be a throwaway.
Something for them to use and then dump once it's over with the operation's done with. Gotcha.
Yeah, quite possibly. He goes, even with it being an old rust bucket, though, that's still expensive. Are you certain that you or your friend don't have what's the word I'm looking for here?
Enemies?
Not enemies, not influential. Affluent. Don't have someone, don't have affluent enemies somewhere. Because somebody was willing to spend a lot of money to take your friend.
No idea.
Pat's gonna step away from the group and get on her comm and try contacting the ship again. Well, yeah, why not? And she's gonna use her real name on it.
Oh. Leaving pretty much the same message, or?
Essentially, just a bit more snooty. Slipping into that persona. Going to be like, it's Cecilia Corvinus, eldest daughter of the Corvinus family. You have my attention. You know what my family does. You know what my family can do. You will contact me back. She's far enough away from the group no one would hear that.
And then you feel Yanni land on your head.
Probably. That's how her day's
Though
going.
Adrian has not mentioned specifically that he has resummoned Yanni yet, so and he has been.
Yeah. Yanni did get destroyed, so yeah, he has to remake Yanni.
He got poofed. Another day passes. The police don't have anything else. There has been no spottings of anybody matching the description of the crew. They start kind of a tips line, but they don't get anything they think is legit off it.
Man, you think a guy that decapitated someone on TV would be easier to find?
He wasn't using his real face.
Armor's got to be at least fairly distinctive, though.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
So anyway, again, you've still got news reporters wanting interviews with you. You're starting to have camera crews just set up around the roustabout. Not right up on the roustabout, but around the hangar it's in.
What we may want to do, this is just for in the future, we may want to look into acquiring our own ship. Something that we still use the roustabout for the more public and or, let's be honest, legit operations.
If the people want to find us, they're going to find us. It's
Yeah.
news media.
Well,
they don't
the
care
media's
what
not finding you because, they're in the roustabout. You know, they basically, somebody managed to find the names of this, who was hired to work the security and where where you came in on, and
Yep. They would have found us regardless of if we came in on the roustabout or the jalopy.
You haven't actually heard any of the newscasters comment on the exact ships you got. You're sure somebody will notice eventually. But keep in mind, it's from a TV show 20 years ago, so.
Yeah.
And it's not
some
something
diehard fan out there like, oh my god.
It's not something you immediately associate with a decapitation on live TV. Stella does not make the announcement. Mortimer, he makes a public statement about what happened, and and while a lot of groups are very upset about the network, the one network that showed it live, everybody seems to consider it, something that had to be done. There is footage of this guy throwing, little black holes at people, so,
At least we're not going to jail, folks. It's a
Give it
win.
time.
Yeah.
We're not going to jail for this.
I was about to
Yes.
add a yet, so.
Gee.
But yeah, not for this.
Do we want to try and get away from the news media? Like, do we want to try and hang out in atmosphere? Or would that just burn up fuel?
Yeah, Jim's like, once a little bit of fuel get into orbit, once we're in orbit, I can put us in a stable orbit for a while.
Sounds like it could be a plan.
Yeah, 'cause, I mean, we've got literally nothing to go off of. We know that they dropped the communicator probably out of their shuttle when they were running. We know they dropped their shuttle. We know the ship's probably a burner. We don't know fuck all about this ship.
I might be able to find us a little bit of something about who bought the ship or who they bought it from.
Go on.
So, in my and Jade's less than legal proclivities prior to us meeting, we made a few contacts. One of them might know something for a price. And this is specifically a class feature, underworld connection.
Ah,
Soldiers get that?
Oh, not class feature, background feature.
Gotcha.
Excuse me.
That makes more sense.
Very sorry.
Because somebody is a criminal.
It's worth a shot. I played my card and no one's answering.
All right. Is there a role for this, or
It doesn't really say if there's a role or not. You have a contact that operates across both sides, operates both across the expanse and in the shadow net. That can give you the lowdown on any of the underworld connections, corrupt politicians, and shady merchants that can give you some info or pass along a message for you without alerting the law.
okay? So, what is your contact's name?
Smurgins.
Spell it.
SMERGINS.
Smurgins. Okay, Smurgins.
Yep.
Is that a last name or a first name or just the name?
Just the name.
All right. So you get on the comms and you contact Smurgin, or excuse me, Smurgins. It takes a few minutes for the call to basically go through. When the screen lights up, describe Smurgins for us.
Never actually seen his face. Instead, it's just a swirling little blue icon, a blue dot with several rings orbiting.
Okay. Well, his familiar icon comes up. Francis,
Smurgins.
what can I do for you today?
A benefactor of mine might have gotten into a little bit of trouble, and he passes along the information regarding the ship, all the details that we've gained about it, on to I need to know anything you can find out about this ship. Who bought it? Who sold it? Who refurbished it? As quickly as possible.
I'll put out some contacts, or put out some feelers, have some of my people poke around. I'll call you back as soon as I get something. Tomorrow at the latest.
We appreciate it, Smurgins.
And then without saying goodbye or anything else, he just disconnects. We're just typical for it.
Dick.
good old Smurgins. Douchebag for all time.
Alright, so the rest of the day passes. By late that afternoon, Francis, you get a call back from Smurgins. Francis, my friend, I believe I have some of the information you need. We should probably discuss price at this point.
Alright, give me a ball.
For you, my dear friend, a mere 4,000 credits.
I can't get it to you all at once, but maybe we can work on an installment plan.
Let's see. What would you...
We don't even have that much.
I have
between
a
us all.
question. How many? Because Adrian has been getting a hold of like bank account information for everybody that he's hacked that we fought against. How many of those could he theoretically throw at Francis to do this right now?
How much bank information have you actually gotten, though? Because I mean, if you're trying to hack a bank, one, if you've gotten it from people that you've killed, yeah, their estates have probably done stuff with that by now. A lot of the people you've run into haven't necessarily had that much in the way of finances. And banks have pretty good security.
Fair enough.
Now, it is certainly something you could try. If you specifically want to embezzle these people's money or just steal it, I guess. That is certainly something we can keep up with in the future. But mention it at the time so we can make the rolls for you to hack their stuff.
Okay.
Crap, where was I? Oh, yes, I was trying to look at a character sheet. What would be?
I don't even think. How much do we get paid for that last job?
It would probably been a pretty pricey one. Pop star and all. What would y'all say? What would y'all think haggling would fall under? Persuasion.
Persuasion.
Yeah, it's usually what it
diplomacy,
falls under.
deception, intimidation.
Francis, give me a persuasion roll. See if you can talk. Smurgins down.
I will try to give assist, or I will try to give advantage somehow.
Oh, please do so.
Now, Francis, Smurgins isn't really going to want to talk to you too much if there's other people around.
Well, never mind. She's not going to give him any assistance then if Smurgins is going to be elected.
Okay, I guess I should roll for Smurgins. You do not persuade Smurgins to lower his price.
So we may have to go to the plan B of hacking the money or doing a job.
We will say that the Stella job paid you 10,000.
Well, if that's the case.
So we don't get to split it as well as we'd like. But on the other hand, we have now had the funds.
I'll say by this point, Adrian has resummoned Yanni.
And of course, a big part of why y'all took this job at all was simply to give you some time between the incident at the shortcut and going back to talk to Achille. I'm just saying the money wasn't that important to you, that's all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it sure does come in handy.
With group approval, Francis just giving him the $4,000.
We have literally nothing else to go off of. I mean, see what we find.
Thank you, my friend.
Don't use that word. You make it sound filthy.
No. I make it sound filthy when I say it to Jade.
And that's why we don't meet in person.
And that's true. You don't even know what species Smurgins is. He starts forwarding you some information. The ship was set to be scrapped, about 50 years ago. Not sure when, but it appears to have disappeared out of the scrapyard. There was no commotion made about it at the time, which is typical of this sort of thing. The seller is a fellow that basically that's what he does. He fixes up ships for specific jobs. This one he had clearly been hanging on to for a while. Or, I should say, it may have exchanged several hands before getting to the guy that most recently sold it. But Smurgins is able to find the information on the what do they call it? What do they call the dark web in this? The shadow.
ShadowNet.
ShadowNet.
Yeah.
Because between it disappearing and the dealer on the ShadowNet having it, Smurgins hasn't found anything. So he figures it was probably used for smuggling and various other illicit things in the meantime. But that far back, it was probably in better shape. Now it gotten run down to the point that this known seller had probably intentionally fixed it up. It's kind of a burner. He's got a name of a person who bought it. The name's clearly a fake. But they overpaid. And they overpaid. They didn't debate price at all. They needed it. He said from the way it looks to him, they needed it quick. This one was available. They just took the first available ship. Like I said, no trying to talk the guy down. He said one odd thing was they paid in actual.
They paid in hard currency.
Right. Gems and valuable metals, basically. Which is a little unusual because the electronic is much easier to do, but this is much less traceable, so Smorgans was only able to find out how much they paid and what they paid with because this dealer is actually one of his contacts. So he was able to, weasel the information out of the guy. The way he says, he refers to him as one of my friends. Which means he's employed Smurgans before. It'd be like if Smurgans called you up, Francis, because he thought you knew something he needed to know.
Mm.
So more than likely some money exchanged hands there, or this fella already owed Smurgans a favor. Because while he prefers cash, he will occasionally take favors if he thinks it's from somebody that could do him a favor. Don't have a name for a star system. He gives you the name of the star system that the ship was delivered to. It's not too far off. Kind of centrally located between kind of where y'all are now and the world Achilles lives over. Castorella?
Yep.
Casparella, yeah. He tells you, I've still got a few feelers out. If anybody else, if any of the other feelers I've put out come back with anything, I'll let you know. No extra charge.
There's always a charge when dealing with you.
Yes, but you've paid it. I'm just saying, supplementary information is all part of the fee. I would not want to cheat a dear friend.
Thank you for your assistance.
Always happy to help. And the screen goes blank.
Alright, yeah, I pass along all this information to the rest of the crew.
Okay. Kat, later that night, you get a response.
Oh, joy.
You recognize the voice of the captain of the other ship. Because y'all had all met in person, reporting, filling out police reports.
Exchanging insurance information.
And while in your previous encounter he sounded kind of anxious and not real comfortable, just a little on edge. In this getting back to you, he sounds different. You recognize his voice, but his kind of mannerisms are completely different. Very cool, very confident. Let's see. What was the message? How did you word the message you were leaving? You gave him
Her
your name.
full name of her house. You have our attention. You know what my family can do. You know what my family will do. Get in contact.
Now, the message does not come from the ship. It is relayed from another ship out in the expanse somewhere.
Yeah, not traceable.
So, and I assume you go off on your own somewhere, too.
Yeah, she's probably going, to the cargo bay, the ship area.
Okay. Well, this is a surprise. We had been wondering who you actually were.
And now you know. I'll skip the pleasantries and get down to business.
Oh, what would the business be?
I believe I outlined my business very clearly. You have my attention. You know what we want. What do you want?
Well, what we would like is the rest of you. Clearly, that's not something you're going to trade us for your friend.
That's not up for negotiation. Who hired you to take my friend?
It was less that I was hired, more that it was a request. A dear old friend asked me if I could perhaps acquire some of you.
Acquire? You make it sound like you're collecting insects.
If the lifespan fits. However,
and what did your friend want with these insects? Or did they not tell you?
Oh, you've been nosing around in things that don't concern you.
They always do that. That should be of no surprise. There's plenty of people who nose around where they don't belong. Why us?
Because I'm pretty sure he's one of the rainbow creatures.
Please stop.
The
You're
fact that-
not here!
Ignore me!
Alright. He requested you specifically. He really...
Me specifically, or this ship and its...
The ship and its crew. Capture as many of you as possible. Kill you if, kill you rather than let you escape. I was rather surprised to see you attacked. Coming into the system, that was a bit of a surprise. I thought about merely blowing you out of space when I had the excuse, but I have a reputation.
Don't we all?
So he did. One thing he did not tell me, though. What is your interest in us?
I'm afraid I don't understand your question.
Well, my friend and I are part of a not eclectic group exactly, though we are that. Prestigious, perhaps? Unique. We are part of a unique group. And I'm truthfully just curious as to what you have done to set him off. I mean, he doesn't like people, nosing around in our business, but
This would make it a lot easier if I knew who the hells you were talking about.
well, I hesitate to use proper names over comms.
I'm sure descriptors will work.
But you met an an acquaintance of mine, back at a research station by the shortcut. From what I hear, he is quite agitated that you were keeping information from him.
He's also quite misguided. We have no information that he needs or requires. We have no information at all. We gave all the information to the station.
Deception.
We technically did give all the information to the...
Oh no, y'all got.
Oh, come on! Why is my deception being shit? I gotta fix that at next level. Actually, did I fix it on this level? Oh, well.
I can certainly see why he's not convinced. It's of no concern of mine. I could care less what the other fellows are doing in the shortcut.
Are we going to barter, or are we just going to sit here and exchange pleasantries?
Actually, we were going to issue a challenge. Here are my coordinates. Here's the system I'm heading to. If you want your friend, come and get him. After the little display on stage at the last planet, I think your group as a whole, could be a bit of a challenge to me.
Oh, and it looks like we'll keep in touch. And she cuts the comm. And she goes and starts waking people up like, so we got coordinates, people.
How'd you find that?
Magic.
My charming personality and face. And kind of like bats her eyelashes.
You wear a mask 95% of the time, Kat.
My charming personality.
See, I'm picturing her wearing the mask as y'all are having this conversation with just the little, oversized digital eyes with the big eyelashes that she's batting.
Yep. I would not put it past her. He just rubs his eyes like, right.
Story for a later time.
Uh-huh.
The ship starts making noises. The typical, the engines are revving up kind of thing.
It's them.
Yay. What do they want?
They want all of us.
Duh. Anything else?
Mostly they want to know why we're in their business, all that jazz. They want what we know about...
Well, the guy you talked to specifically...
He wants to know, the information.
He was wondering why you were up in their business, and it's like whoever had put him up to this really hadn't filled him in on the details, so he was curious.
Maybe they should stop hunting us down and trying to kill us then, and we would leave them alone. That sounds like a wonderful proposition now, doesn't it?
We can go try these coordinates, or whatever. We got the coordinates.
Yeah, somebody has a date with a plasma sword. All right, I'm up.
You walk into the bridge. Jim's already got stuff firing up. He heard you shouting at everybody. Just as soon as he heard we've got coordinates, he starts firing up the ship.
Passes the coordinates to Jim. Jim, what kind of hell are we marching into?
All right. This is an uninhabited system.
Nice.
Let's see. He's got a hot Jupiter.
A hot Jupiter. Oh my.
Ah, there it is. The
Yes.
only habitable.
It has rings. Sorry.
That would have been Saturn or Uranus.
Yeah. Somebody went there. I was waiting
Anyway,
for
he's like, there's the hot Jupiter has got a habitable moon though. About 75%, normal gravity. Let's see. It's tidal locked, so the side facing the planet is, because of the heat coming off the planet, is pretty much a desert. Where the other half of the planet's a little more, it's tropical, but it's a little more what you'd expect, because while it's tidally locked to the planet, it does pass by the sun periodically. But it gives the place a very unusual day-night cycle.
Fantastic.
Yay.
But so he's like, there's been some research done on the place, but there's nothing of particular value there.
Any research bases where people might be holing up, waiting for us to foolishly go there?
Not that's that's recorded here. It's got a thriving ecosystem, but nothing real special.
Alright.
But he's like he goes, it'll take us a couple of days to get to a crucible. We'll have to jump, and then it'll be a couple of days to get to this system. He goes, they must to have already gotten there. Well, if they're already there and not just giving you the coordinates of where they're headed, they would have to have left that first night.
I wouldn't put it past them.
He's like, yeah. Like I said, it's also possible that they're still en route and they're just basically going, here's where you can meet us at.
Off in the distance, you hear Trump.
All right. Do you alert the police to any information that you have gathered?
The downside is, though, if we alert the police, they might find out about that. Especially considering we're dealing with them.
Yeah, we don't know if they have anyone in the police.
Mm-hmm. And keep in mind, if you did tell the police, we received this information. Yeah, it's in another system. It's way out of their jurisdiction.
Yeah.
Yep.
So what I was saying is, I'll think the local police will be able to do anything about it anyway.
The system y'all are headed towards it's barely under anybody's jurisdiction. The defense force technically would have jurisdiction there.
So I'm hearing we are getting a stronghold soon.
I don't know where you're hearing that from.
Voices in my head.
We'll take the planet.
It's a moon. It's a moon.
We'll take the moon. We'll make it into a space station. No.
No, we land on the planet. First thing we do is we plant a flag. So if they don't have a flag, it's ours.
Yep.
That's how this thing works, right?
There is no intelligent species known to be on this moon. Get that out of the way.
Okay.
Makes it even easier.
Yeah.
I gotta duck out for a sec.
Okay. All right.
I guess we're heading to the moon.
But it's in a space station.
Just as fast as you can, you burn out a system. A couple of uneventful days as you're approaching the crucible.
Just everyone kind of pacing around, checking weapons.
Did I tell y'all the level last time?
Yes, sir.
To level 5?
I think that's what level y'all are now. Yeah. Nope.
I did not put myself a level 4 if I'm... Oh, no, I put myself... Okay, never mind.
That's right, because we discussed some of y'all were thinking about multi-classing eventually, but nobody actually had this time.
Mhm.
I recall now.
I don't think it'd be beneficial for me to multi-class, given I'm technically a warlock.
Well, I think it was something Sarah was thinking about for Cat later on.
Yeah, at some point.
Just
the days pass, and
make her
eventually,
part hunter.
Eventually, you're approaching the system that's got a crucible in it. Jim's like, we don't need to stop for any reason, do we? I mean, our supplies are fine and all that. He goes,
Well, if they're fine,
I assume
then...
y'all want to just carry on. Okay.
We can survive on half rations for a couple days if we need to.
Well, he's like, it's not that desperate. It's just,
Yeah.
a lot of times we stop just to top off. But
As long as
time
we
to be
got
a
enough
factor.
gas to get there and back to somewhere we can gas up, we're good.
Basically.
So you hit the crucible, or you get within the 500 miles of the crucible to let your drive sync up with the crucible, so you can hop to the next one. You make the jump. You come back out into normal space. The lights go off in your ship.
Shit.
The engine seems to have power down.
Right,
Guys?
I'm
Jim-
walking into
Jim
the
is sitting
engine
there going,
area.
What the hell?
Adrian. He doesn't care. He's walking into the engine area, pulling out a tech device, slapping it on the engine, casting capacitor, powering the damn thing, and let's keep going.
When you say walk, because the gravity seems to be off at the moment too.
Well,
Did the
he
gravity...
he can fly in 0G now,
All the time, or you got to use the spell?
all the time. He
Everyone else is
permanently
floating
he
around,
permanently now has a flight speed equal to his walking speed while in 0G.
Jim's sitting there flipping switches, but nothing's reacting. Adrian is making his way back to the engine room.
He can use his prime talents to power the doors and get him through the doors until he gets to the engine room, and then he'll slap a capacitor onto the engine.
Now, what does the capacitor do?
Let me double check. I'm thinking of the wrong power.
Oh.
Capacitor is just effectively a daylight spell. Right, never mind then. I cannot do that.
The rest of you hear Jim. Guys, are you seeing what I'm seeing?
No, I'm currently somewhere else. Why?
Also, a little bit dark. What are you seeing?
Are any of you in the cockpit with him?
I'll say Cat's up there.
Okay. Basically, where the roustabout seems to have powered down, and y'all are drifting, the ship is also starting to kind of do this little number, starting to just kind of rotate oddly.
Mm-hmm.
As it moves down through the front viewport, you see it's not a style of ship you recognize necessarily, but it is something at least dreadnought sized. It absolutely dwarfs the roustabout.
Mm.
I mean, this thing would have the hangar space for dozens and dozens of roustabouts.
Well, I think I speak for all of us when I say, damn it.
Not the size of... Don't think a Star Destroyer from Star Wars. It's a little smaller than that.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe half that size.
that's still upsettingly large.
It is upsettingly large, yes.
I want it.
Think of the gas prices for that thing.
Just the
I'm a
look,
sucker for capital ships.
just the look on Eric's face, giving me flashbacks to a Star Wars campaign a buddy ran.
I'm a sucker for capital ships. I
3 Star
cannot help it.
Destroyers showed up in orbit. My buddy Todd immediately goes, "I'm taking one of those. I'm going to call it the Cleveland." The size of Cleveland, apparently.
Yes.
Oh yeah, Patrick was there for that one.
Yeah, the Plan Omega. By far the best part was Danny was apparently trying to side us with a Imperial officer. He was trying to make it like our sidekick. And we always refer to him as Killbot.
No, Danny was Killbot. This was Mike's. They had a. Todd was playing a Jedi with Sith tendencies, and we had a security droid. One of the characters was playing a security droid. So they bluffed their way on the ship and invented the atmosphere.
Yeah, and
Long story short.
And the security bot basically said, okay, to the sidekick, no, stand right here. Don't go inside the ship that we came on. Just stand right here.
Yeah. He didn't want a spunky sidekick, so he made sure the guy stayed outside of their shuttle. So the invented atmosphere. Lack of atmosphere got him.
Mm-hmm.
And then the GM banned that character, and he had to roll up you.
Okay.
All right.
Good times.
Yes. It was a fun campaign. All right, where were we? Oh yes, Dreadnought.
Getting pulled into a ship.
All of a sudden, throughout the entire ship, you can all hear very loudly. Not quite deafening, but uncomfortably loud. Attention roustabout. You're about to be boarded. Do not resist, and you will not be harmed. But you have
Weapon.
property of ours that we will be recovering.
Define property.
Oh, poop.
Does Hull
Weapon.
actually say that?
No, but I really get the idea that, well, I'm the only thing that they might consider property.
You don't
You're
know.
gonna
Jade and
fuck
Francis,
with our heads.
Jade and Francis are thieves. They could have somebody's stuff. You don't know.
Also, by the way, since I was away for a second, you said basically like a cruiser-style ship. What showed up here?
Yes.
Dreadnought.
A ship that's some sort of dreadnought size. What got us on Star Wars is me saying that it's not quite the size of a Star Destroyer. It's maybe half that, but that's still, colossal compared to y'all.
We go and listen to what they have to say, but everyone weapon up.
Shortly thereafter, you hear a clank of something docking with the ship. Let me move y'all over to the roustabout map. Man, I'm starting to get a lot of maps on this thing.
If I disconnect, it's because it's thunder rumbling around here.
Huh.
Oh, is the storming up that way?
Yep.
Which means I'm going to be seeing it shortly.
Yeah, I'm checking the radar now, too, just to be on the safe side.
I'm far enough north, you guys might not.
I'm not hearing anything
Maybe.
down this way, but I'm down past Decatur around Hartselle. All right.
My main issue is whether I need to bring the dog in or not.
All right. So here's the map of the roustabout. Which y'all are familiar with. Where are y'all planning to go?
I take it this gentleman is Jim now.
Yes, the one in the cockpit up there is Jim. They are docking with the... Let's see... Where's one of the side cargo bays? The port cargo bay door. So, up in the top left corner of the map. Be right about here.
I missed that, or...
Before the voice will have stopped talking, Cat will have said something like, "Permission to leave our pilot aboard the ship. He has no part in this. He will not attempt to flee, nor will he power up the ship or try to do any repairs." I don't know why she got a little foreign there.
I was wondering, but I wasn't going to say nothing. You get no response back from them. You are, in truth, not entirely certain they can hear you.
Okay, she'll ask again when they get boarded.
Give me perception checks.
Yeah, it's... At this point, considering everyone getting ready to get boarded... perception checks. Yes.
I'm just not rolling good at all. That's 2 nat ones in a row. Wow, guys!
So I'm the only
A lot
one.
of suck right there.
On the plus side, we got that
There's
out of us beforehand.
There's a plus side to this?
Well, it wasn't in combat, at least.
Lord.
I mean, yeah, but... Good.
I need to reconnect to roll 20. One of the cats unplugged the computer.
Okay.
Okay.
You're with us.
Very
You're
sorry.
with us in voice,
As
so
cats do.
at least you can keep up. All right. So, only Adrian notices this. Basically, as you're flying back to catch up, back up with everybody else, passing through a bulkhead while the voice is talking, you touch a wall, and it's like you put your hand up against a speaker. You realize they've sent this message basically by vibrating the hull of the ship to use it as the speaker. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
It's not a...
If there's no power on the ship, though, that
Yeah, and
is handy?
at this point, Hull actually needs to say something. When we're all together, I kind of actually have to say, I'm fairly certain they're here for me.
And what
I'm
makes you say
Why
that?
is
I'm
that?
fairly certain they're also the Agenialo, so...
Ah,
Or Primorium. Which one is the bad guys again?
Primorium.
Primorium.
I'm fairly certain it's the Primorium. They mentioned the dude back on the station.
Wait a second. Is that your icon?
In
Or is
a
that really,
roundabout
really
word.
old icon?
I may not need my killbot, but I'm glad he's here.
Alright.
Everybody loves Killbot.
Because now I actually have multiple versions of him.
Alright. So, the thunking as it docks, y'all all scramble down there. The door opens.
And
Very much like Adrian was doing with the doors, using a power. Somebody has powered the door so it'll open.
And also, while we're at it, I throw down new killbot. Essentially, you see several of my little spheres, more or less kind of form a Voltron kind of situation, and now a medium-sized creature is now standing with you.
We're not attacking them immediately.
Well, he's here,
He's here. He's just minding his own business.
Okay.
and
You know.
that until I disuse him, he's good for 24 hours. So
He's just standing there, the spheres that make up his hands morph into a data pad. He starts playing a video game. He's just there.
Goes into idle mode.
considering he's made of my various spheres, he starts playing Pong with himself. Basically, one of the spheres detaches and bounces off.
That's nasty.
Yeah, it sounds a little, Yeah, I'm not even going to say. Alright, the door's open. There are about 15 troops in fairly heavy armor. Standing in front of them. Let me see. Is this individual?
The mysterious host.
Being attacked by weebs.
Patrick? Or
Yeah.
I should say Hull.
Oh, now I recognize this guy, don't I?
Not necessarily the specific individual, but the nature of his dress, yeah. Yeah, you were right. They're probably here for you.
Be right back. I'm not hopping off. I just need to check some.
Okay.
What did I do?
As they begin marching aboard, this fellow in front is clearly the leader.
Mm-hmm.
Greetings. He kind of scans across all of you. Ah, Hull. So good to have you back.
It's been a while, River.
What was that you said?
I'm saying this. I was saying the administrator's name. Or is this somebody else?
You think you recognize the voice? You think this is the guy that worked for the administrator? You know, one of his flunkies.
Sorry, because I pulled up my backstory just so I could remember the names.
The administrator, well, his feelings were kind of hurt when you departed so quickly, Hull. He's missed you terribly.
Well, let's just say my exodus was difficult for everyone. Landing in a garbage chute from orbit was not fun.
It was clever, though. We have to give you that. I guess when we make a person, we make them, make them clever and adaptable. Maybe too clever, maybe too adaptable. But it doesn't matter, you're coming home now. As for the rest of you, you will also be our guests for at least a short time. We have things we would like to discuss with you. We're going to have to ask you to, drop your weapons.
And Adrian suddenly gets a sudden burst of data as whole transfers both to him and to Jade, since she has her mask where she can read it safely.
Cat.
Jade, yeah. Some of the information, some of my former project.
So basically, you just dump a bunch of information on the stuff you were working on for these people.
Yes.
Did you delete the information on your way out?
I'm trying to. I'll have to double check that.
I can't remember if you actually did anything that would piss them off, or if you just left.
I did not delete anything because apparently I was both the test subject and an assistant working on this project.
Okay.
Part of the reason, why don't you go more to the backstory? I can actually email it to you if it makes it easier, or do you want me to hear it from me?
I'll just go ahead and email it. It may or may not come up much today. though it will certainly be coming up shortly.
Because I
Like that name.
want just to pop in the chat, or
Just send it to me in the Discord. It'll be fine.
okay, copy. Just straight up use your Gmail account if you don't want to do Discord.
Okay, email's fine. All right. So anyway, guy walks in. He's told you to put your weapons down. What do you do?
Adrian very visibly does not have weapons to put down.
Francis reluctantly lays his guns on the ground.
Same with Kat. She'll pull out like 4 or 5 different pistols and a couple knives and just kind of put them on the ground.
Mm-hmm. He gestures to a couple of the troopers. They're going to pat you down just to be sure. And as they walk up, he's like, "Oh, ladies, pat down ladies. No reason to be, any more unpleasant than necessary." It's just everyone. We seem to be missing. We seem to be missing your pilot.
He has no part in any of this.
But he's here. He comes up with his comm unit. I will need the pilot of the ship to report to the cargo bay. Sooner rather than later. And as he talks into the comm link, once he hits the button after saying that into the comm link, the entire ship vibrates with the sound of his voice.
That is a nifty little trick.
It is. It's not really an advanced tech particularly. Just a clever use of it. A clever adaptation of it.
Question. Using my techie background, can I figure out what that is, what he's using to do it?
Give me a...
It's,
use your technology or something roll.
Since I also have techie, I'll run, I think it's mechanics, how they run that.
Yeah, mechanics roll would probably be...
+2.
Bless you.
Thank you. 15.
Okay. He's just using his comm unit. You figure it's probably relaying back to either the ship he came in or the dreadnought itself, and the actual tech the actual machine delivering the message is probably on one of those ships.
Adrian sort of taps his chin, like,
There's also a Kesh member of your party, is there not?
Not anymore, that's why we're out here, and then you stopped us. Would you like to help?
You're most likely telling the truth. He gestures to one of the troops. Search the ship to be sure. No reason not to be thorough.
Alright, well, since you cut power to the ship and everyone's trying to float around, I'll go get the pilot.
And Jim's been making once the message comes through, Jim is making his way down.
And Adrian just visibly just floats up and then just flies out. He doesn't even care anymore right now.
And we're being raided because it's 8 o'clock.
It's 8 o'clock.
It is 8 o'clock.
Hello!
Big thank you to Curious Crafts and everybody.
The
that
8
came
o'clock raid.
over. We appreciate you. We appreciate how often that you come over and check us out.
Yeah.
Your favorite peoples that rate us. And we're
You're
being
the
rated.
only ones who really love us.
It's like we're being raided and we're being hijacked, boarded.
We're
What?
being raided while we're being raided.
Exactly.
Raidception.
It's the
raid within a raid within a
circle
raid.
of life.
All right.
Well,
So
it's
everybody-
either
So everybody's put down their
sits
weapons.
there. Or...
Now Adrian does wear a noticeably bulky gauntlet, doesn't he?
Nah, it looks the same as the rest of his armor.
Okay. Let's see. Would they let you keep your armor? Well, I suppose what I meant. Hull, he gestures to your killbots. Please leave them on board your ship.
I shut them down.
I'm just picturing them breaking down into like ball bearing sized orbs all over the place. All right. The troop searching the ship comes back. You know, they seem to be you know content that yes, there's not the cache they were expecting. It is simply not here. Assuming you don't resist, they take you on board their ship. They don't gather your weapons up. They just leave them laying on the floor where you dropped them. You get on board their ship. You know they shut your airlock. They detach, fly towards the dreadnought. Out one of the port windows, you can see what looks like some sort of tug, basically, is hooking up to the roustabout.
Well, this isn't going as planned. I don't even think these are the people we contacted.
Jim is looking out the window. Guys, I don't think we arrived where we were supposed to arrive.
As in, we were given bullshit coordinates, or we were shifted somewhere else.
To which I kind of say, knowing who these people are, probably shifted, and I can basically guarantee you these are not the people we were expecting.
It's just the crucible we were jumping to is pretty active. I mean, there should be a lot of traffic. I don't see anybody out here except, you know, this shuttle, that tug, and you know,
Giant warship.
the big boy out there.
Cat is going to quietly be just kind of banging her head against the wall.
So you're taken on board a ship. Go ahead and close out our mysterious host. Where are y'all on the map? Or I should say on my list of maps. You are escorted to rooms. Yeah, let's not split hairs. Cells. You're put in cells. They're not, they're not dreadful, but it's just the fact that you're locked in that's kind of a bad thing. Your host asks you to stay here for a moment.
We have a choice.
Individual cells.
No, I'm merely trying to be polite.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Let's see. Is that everybody? Oh, wait. Where's Jim? Now you're locked in individual cells. It's not, there's not bars. It's solid doors, so you can't really see out.
Yanni is sort of floating around between the rooms, though.
Eventually, your mysterious host returns. Let's see, where did I put it? There he is. And he will talk to each of you individually. But we're going to kind of handle it as one conversation. All I ask is that if one of you is making a comment, nobody else gives suggestions since you're not in the room with them. But this way I don't have to ask the same questions over and over again. Alright, so as your host enters, he greets each of you by whatever name. Almost forgot something vaguely important. When he had you gathered in the docking, or once you got on board his ship, he's looking over you all. Kat, you realize he's wearing a mask, probably not too unlike yours, kind of up under that helmet. He just currently has his blank.
Twinsies.
He does stop. I very much like your mask. Pardon me for
Thank
being
you.
forward, but who do we have up under there? He reaches down and kind of picks your mask up. He pauses.
She allows us because
He looks over at Adrian. And then a quick glance. Kind of slumming, aren't you, Princess? Puts the mask back. That is interesting. We had not been entirely certain who you were. Well, we will have such things to talk
says
about.
nothing.
So anyway, after that, you get to the ship. That you're loaded into your cells. And they come to speak to you. Now, due to the tensions previously, as we were not sure whether there would be combat or how you would respond to our offer to host you for a little while, I was lax. I should have introduced myself. I'm Akihiko. And I believe we know who all of you are now.
Maybe, because Adrian's only ever gone by Arden. With
Yeah, he's been using fake names.
yeah.
Yeah.
So his identity has been very carefully scrubbed wherever they go.
When he speaks to Arden, and he does indeed use that name.
Mm.
The way he says your name, you suspect that he expects it's a fake. But it's the name he has, so it's the name he's using. How long have you been traveling with your masked friend, Kat?
As long as necessary.
That is not an answer, my friend.
It is.
No.
As long as I've been traveling with her, and I'll keep
And how
traveling
long?
as long as necessary.
And how long have you been traveling?
Haven't really kept track. We've been kind of busy.
You have been very busy. And some of that is what I would like to ask you about. We know that you... And
Well,
this is the kind of question he's asking everybody, so any of you can chime in if you have a comment. We know that you have been working for Achille Vasher.
It's nice to have fairly stable employment, yes.
Indeed. Archaeological research, which is not generally my employer's... It's not generally something my employer is interested in.
Mm-hmm.
But there was the incident when the relic, the functioning technology from this culture you've been investigating. I believe it's when you met Achille. What was it about that technology that was important enough to have two agents of someone suicide to take it out?
I have no idea.
I see.
He literally has no idea.
Yeah.
He doesn't know what that tech was. He has no damn clue.
So we have a list of places you've been. It's a fairly eclectic place. Some old ruins. Where there were hostile
Oh, that
natives.
was you.
CDO 113,
Okay.
I believe the planet was.
Yeah, and that was your ship hanging out there.
Oh, no. No, we did not send a ship until later. Once we found out you had been
No.
there.
I'm not talking about when we left.
You seem to have me at a disadvantage, sir. I do not know what you're referring to.
And you're treating us at a disadvantage as well as parking a dreadnought on our door, so I feel it's pretty even keel here.
Given the circumstances you're in, do you really feel being intentionally aggravating is a good idea?
This, unfortunately, is my default setting when I'm stressed.
We should probably get you something for that.
Probably wouldn't help too well.
But anyway, we know there were some ruins on that planet you visited. Only when we sent a team in to find out what it was you'd been poking around about, the ruins seem to have been destroyed completely.
Well, that's new. It's not how we left it. We left it pretty much exactly as we found it.
Yes. We had found a native habitat close by, or a native settlement close by, but it appeared to have been recently abandoned.
That is strange. They were very protective of those ruins.
So who do you suppose destroyed those ruins?
Probably the same people who sent people to suicide and destroy whatever the hell it was in that briefcase.
We also know that you have been to the shortcut.
Interesting place. Have you been there?
Not personally, no.
You should go take a look. There's some real interesting stuff.
We have some people there doing research.
Oh, would you like to trade notes sometime?
Very much. What did you discover when your ship disappeared and was gone for some time?
I wish I knew.
Now, how he takes the same train of questioning with all of you. How did the rest of you respond to this?
When they mentioned that the planet was destroyed, Kat would probably ask, or not the planet,
The ruins.
that the ruins were destroyed and that the people looked to have abandoned it, like abandoned or were killed.
There were signs that there was a camp there using tents and so forth. It looks like it was cleared out. If you had friends there, I wouldn't be too concerned about them. There was no signs of combat or a struggle or anything, though advanced explosives were used to cave in the ruins themselves.
That's the only. Unless they ask her like very specific questions, she'd probably answer fairly similar.
Okay.
She wouldn't give up any information about the shortcut or anything like that.
Francis remains very vague and very unhelpful with all of his answers.
Yeah, I'm sure Jade would as well. He seems to write y'all off pretty quickly as just the muscle. However justly or unjustly that is. He does ask you about what went on at in Five Forks.
bodyguard job.
Ah,
Apparently he was not aware of the events there when he took you, but has since at least gotten some kind of report about it. It's a shame your Kesh friend isn't here. I'd very much like to have met him.
Yeah, he's an interesting dude. That's who we were actually going to go find. Until you stopped us.
Unfortunately,
Or
sir.
actually, more accurately, you took control of the navigations, rerouted us through a different crucible, and brought us here. Interesting trick. How'd you do that?
Oh, we had people on the planet you were on. While you were
I'm not
distracted with your
surprised.
bodyguarding, yeah, they managed to get into your system. It didn't matter what coordinates you fed in. The next time you got close to a crucible, your engine would have sank up and sent you here.
I should have checked that.
You
So,
were preoccupied. A kidnapped friend and all. It's understandable.
yeah. So, since we're here playing 20 questions, I have one for you.
Certainly.
Why do you care? What does any of this mean to you?
You were traveling with some of our property. And we
I
very
have
much
no
wanted
idea
to
what
get
you're
him
talking
back.
about.
We very much wanted to get him back.
Him who?
Oh, your friend Hull. He belongs to us.
Really? Why?
We created him.
So does your parents. Do you belong to them?
I did for a time.
Do you now?
Oh, no, they've long since departed this world.
I'm getting sidetracked. What does it matter beyond that point?
Well, Hull was our interest, but in researching him, you seem to be involved in some very odd business, and we're frankly curious about it. It's sort of a
And
side interest.
So a side interest warrants a dreadnought.
No. I brought that for Hull. Well, and it was the available ship.
Why do you need I don't even want to get into the logistics of that. Why a dreadnought for one person?
We had our reasons. It's not important to you.
Okay, then the information I know isn't important to you.
You do realize that if I give you too much information about the nature of this ship or my organization, we may not be able to let you leave. Whereas of right now, you know nothing that could hurt us. So we could potentially be convinced to let you leave.
Yeah. Except I'm the one that has all the information you want.
Oh, you have many friends. We could question some of them.
But they don't know what I know. None of them do.
Perhaps I should see what they know.
You can try, but I made sure of it.
And he gets up and he leaves. He'll let you stew for a little while.
Yanni follows him, so Adrian's gonna listen to what they're talking about. And he's phased out, too.
Yeah, but there are abilities that will detect that sort of thing. Because he basically counts as a life form. And you are dealing with people that are clearly going to have espers working for them.
Well, they haven't detected him yet.
Worst that can happen is they poof him out of existence.
no familiar for you. Oof.
Oh, never you mind then. Actually, Yanni would have. Let's see. Yanni, I think, would have disappeared when they put you in the cell. says summon creatures, which isn't exactly what Yanni is.
Nope. Yanni is a physical entity that exists, that he can just call to him as needed.
Let's see. Either he would have disappeared in the cell, or he will be stuck in the cell.
That's assuming he went into the cell with him.
Then he wouldn't be able to phase into the other cells.
Well,
Yeah, he'd be
that's
stuck in
true.
the hallway then.
I did say he was roaming around the hallway.
All right, so you can decide whether he is in your cell with you, or if he's in the hallway.
Yeah, it's probably in the hallway then.
Okay.
Just keeping track of where people go and what's going on.
All right. So he goes in, and when he goes in to talk to Kat, he asks much the same questions, and like you said, answers much the same way. But he does ask you, why would someone of your importance be traveling with this group? Specifically with the unpleasant fellow across the hall from you. I know you were already traveling with him prior to being hired by Achille. A man that, while somewhat affluent, certainly doesn't have the resources to hire you.
It's not uncommon for people of stature to go about in the world, doing much the same.
We
Learning
have,
about the first before going back to my family to assist with the business.
speaking of the business in your family, well, we have some information on a rather severe data breach they had some time back. That the last we had heard of anything about you had been leaving to investigate.
That is correct, and I'm still investigating that.
Yet there is some communication amongst your family, some concern that you have not been checking in. They're wondering if you're missing. Well, they consider you missing and are wondering if you have run afoul of someone.
I'll check in with them when the time is right. Right now, I have no need to check in with them.
I have to wonder if perhaps you were involved in the data breach.
Wonder you may.
Certainly your unpleasant colleague seems the sort that might have those kind of skills.
You know how well guarded my family's information is, how well guarded the business's information is.
Oh, I think I know that better
Do you
than
really
you
think that someone... Do you really think someone of his skill or lack thereof is going to be able to break into that? You
I don't
insult
know.
me just by asking that.
I don't know.
Using their skills to try and find the actual root of the problem.
Those hacker
When I
types
find
can
out
be
more
quite
information, when I find out more information, I'll contact my family. As for now, I'm out sowing my wild oats.
clever. Well, I hope not with the fellow across the hallway. Ew.
That was merely a metaphor. Roaming the universe before settling down to run the business.
Let's see. Does he have any other specific questions to ask you? You know, he would ask about the shortcut and what's going on.
I should say pretty much the two gentlemen that are a bit infatuated with science and numbers wanted to go visit it.
He does ask about how many odd attacks you've been involved in. You know, they've got the record. They've got the records on that one shootout that ended with the collision and you boarding the other ship.
Your guess is as good as mine. I mean, since we've all seemed to have met up to work for Achille on the station, we've been attacked by various groups.
Is it various groups though, or has it mostly been the same group? And he brings up the video file that you gave the defense force, showing the rainbow light characters, or rainbow light creatures, I should say. What do
As far
these
as that,
say?
we're still investigating that. We have no real information as far as to if it was an anomaly of the light or a malfunctioning camera or
Deception.
something more malicious.
Deception.
I know, I'm getting to my character sheet. Praying to the dice gods. Did I roll something other than a 1 for once tonight?
And just so you know, you tell Muffle your plans, and he laughs.
I can't roll more than a 1! That's all I've rolled tonight. I've rolled 3 1s in a row.
Yeah, that's pretty
You
bad.
knocked your camera to the side pretty good too.
Yeah. I'll figure that out in a second.
Well, I'm sitting pretty right there with you, so don't feel too bad.
Okay, there's this. What are his skills? Alright, so his
We're all
perception.
just sucking for rolls tonight.
I don't know. I'm doing okay. Oh, you know something, my dear.
And I got it again. Just 1 second.
Okay. Is it a race that you're dealing with? Some unknown species? Are they some sort of construct?
She just smiles and doesn't say anything else.
Keep being uncooperative, and you will be here a very, very long time. Let's see. Let's see. Patrick had to step away for a second, so. Zach, when he questions Francis, when he shows the video to Francis and questions him about the Primorians, what is his responses?
I don't know, man. Xenohobian witnesses? The universe is big. It's weird. Things happen.
Things seem to happen around you and your party quite a bit.
A statistical anomaly. Listen, I have a particular talent for surrounding myself with very dangerous, very scary people. And very dangerous, very scary people tend to attract very dangerous and scary situations. It happens.
Look, my friend, if you cooperate with us, we have no reason not to let you go. But you have to cooperate with us.
I'm playing it straight here. We got places to be, people to kill,
Deception
money to
rolls.
make.
Is he being deceptive though when he says that?
I mean, we got places to be and people to kill.
Yeah, but when I'm playing you straight, well, no, he's keeping things. Unfortunately, he only rolled a 21, so. While he doesn't believe for a second that the party doesn't know some stuff, he may be convinced that Francis himself does not know any of the specifics. Thus going back to, oh, this is just the hired guns, okay. And shortly after that, he seems to be questioning Jade and Francis less. Let's see. He would question Jim. Though y'all would not know any of that exchange, so. Patrick, are you back on here yet? Obviously not. So are there any other
Dogs,
questions that any of you would like to ask him?
Dog's raising hell. I'll be right back.
Oh, my players are leaving.
Yeah, I think Francis has a question.
Okay, shoot.
How valuable is a single clone, replicant, whatever Hull is? How
Ashen Forge.
valuable is he?
You would know that
Ashen
Ashen Forge are all artificially created beings.
Ah, alright, gotcha. How valuable is a single Ashen Forged, really, to make you pull out all of this
Well,
just to get him back?
not to go into detail, because details are dangerous. But he was involved with some experimentation, both as a test subject and a lab assistant. And well, the results we have are invalid without him present. We need to give him, by which I mean the techs, need to give him a going over to see how he has developed in this time. He has some information that we probably need. Some insights into the experiment. There's also the matter of face. My employer, he lost some face when Hull escaped. I lost face when Hull escaped. It was kind of a breach of our security. He knows too much about our organization to be allowed to simply run amok, as it were. Though to his credit, he has kept our secrets thus far, so there is that.
So it's just pride and corporate secrets, is what you're saying.
Oh, we are far from a corporation.
Oh, you're a cult then. Neat.
Do you honestly have no idea who we are?
I literally don't care. In fact,
Okay.
I'm considering turning your face into a fancy little tea cozy once we're done here.
Keep talking like that, and I may wind up with some new luggage.
Yeah, I've heard that a lot in my life. Usually from soon-to-be dead men.
Alright, so anyway, after that little exchange, he does seem to be thoroughly done with Francis. Hull.
As he walks in, I just kind of say, I'm terrible at the pronunciation again. Was it Akiko?
Let me look at it to make sure I'm pretty. Akihiko.
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 Alright, actually spelled that right. Good.
Sure, spelled like it sounds. He walks in, looks at you, and just sort of tisks. Hull. Do you know the chaos you sowed when you left? Couldn't complete the experiment. I and our employer lost face.
Well, in all fairness, I discovered the end part of the experiment, and I was not thrilled with the results.
Sometimes sacrifices have to be made for the greater good.
Yes, unfortunately, I kind of suddenly had the realization that not a lot of good's ever going to come from this research.
It's a matter of how the research is used.
Considering all things that's happened, and you mentioned the employer's lost face, how is Primavera?
Alright, that last part cut out. What was that, Patrick?
How is the administrator?
Oh, he is doing well. He has, there are other experiments being run. As I said, his feelings were quite hurt by your departure. And he has been very insistent that I get you back.
Well, my feelings were quite hurt when I found out what basically my life was.
You were created for a purpose. You were not birthed randomly to existence like the rest of us. You were created with purpose. For one purpose that you needed to fulfill.
Let's just say I'm not willing to pass butter right now.
I'm very disappointed in you.
You think you're disappointed?
Indeed.
When I first started the research, I was amazed. I felt lucky that I found out what we were working on. But as I progressed further and further, I started to find out that there really wasn't much good that could come from this. While I understand the necessity of the research, I fully aware of that. It's a very unknown phenomenon. However, the nature in which you're willing to go through with this research, I do take issue with.
Sometimes you have to be willing to do anything to achieve greatness. It's all a matter of judging the relative values. If you want to, if something needs done, needs figured out, needs solved, a problem needs solved badly enough, you have to be willing to do whatever it takes.
And I've also, in my experience, learned that if you have to actually truly justify your actions, they were probably not justifiable in the first place. I am, I think, currently the only lawful good member of the party, though, so...
No, probably. With Danru gone, probably so. We would have advanced, so with your help, though, we could advance so many people. Connect them to the universe in a way that we enjoy, but so many people don't. Yes, we would have lost some people, but that's life.
Actually, the loss of that life is the issue.
I understand. You were born in a lab, you were raised in a lab, you only ever worked in a lab. You've never had to deal with the harsher parts of life.
I actually have.
We let
Quite
you grow.
significantly.
We let you grow up kind of soft. We mothered you too much. It's really a shame.
In this short time, I've learned a great deal. And for all of the bad that I've seen in this world, I've seen so much good that I'm willing to protect it.
That sounds almost noble. Well, not to be too blunt about it, but you don't really have a choice but to come and help us now. However, while I don't have a choice but to bring you home, I have some options when it comes to your friends. I assume that you would like to see them released unharmed.
Correct.
Well, they have seen nothing so far that would be of any use to any of our opponents. They have no information that would hurt us. So I could choose to let them go. Assuming A, that you come back and cooperate. And B, that you tell us everything you know about what Achille Vasher is up to. There's been too many odd incidents while you've been working for him. We have numerous puzzle pieces, but we can't seem to figure out what kind of picture this puzzle is making. We need you to fill in some of the empty spaces. Help us arrange our pieces. And he brings up the video from when y'all were fighting aboard those ships of the Primorian. What are these things?
So currently, right now, my friend's survival is dependent on my cooperation, but also on the necessity of the information that I possess. Correct?
You must cooperate. Yeah, yes, you must come back and cooperate with us, and you must give us, give us whatever information you have on what you and your friends have been up to. What did you find in the shortcut? What are these creatures? What is Achille trying to accomplish?
I'm willing to dispense with the information with the condition that my friends be released prior to me giving this information.
I am not certain that I can trust you, Hull. It hurts me to say that. I was there when you woke up. I've seen you through your training. It hurts me, but I just do not know that I can trust you. You might get all self-sacrificing. That nobility streak that I'm noticing. How about if I release half of your friends before and half after?
May I select the individuals in question? The first to be released, and then the second.
I suppose so.
Let's see. This is now out of character. Let's see, just count here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, I request that Adrian, Kat, and Jade be released first.
Okay, they will be sent back to their ship. He goes, it's getting late. We will do this. We will release them tomorrow. I wish to question. I wish to. He did say question. I wish to converse with him some more tonight. But on the morrow, we will send them back to their ship. And we'll allow their ship to power back up. And they can get whatever distance from us they wish. And then you will give us the information that you need.
That we need.
This is agreeable?
Very well.
Excellent. It's good to have you back, Hull. They kind of pat you on your shoulder. With your help, we will accomplish great things. Alright. As the night progresses, let's see, what time is it?
8:45.
Okay, we got just a little bit of time then. Let's see. Each of you how to use the. Each of you basically have a button that can call somebody in there. He tells each of you if you decide you wish to cooperate, feel free, hit that at any time, and he'll be summoned back. Food is brought to you. They're not trying to starve you. Let's see, is there anything else that he would tell you before he departed? No, I guess not. Let's see, he never brought that up, but he might not be aware of it. Okay. So they turn your lights off. You go to sleep. The very next morning, breakfast is served. He comes back by. He speaks to each of you, see if you've changed your mind about, coming forth with what happened in the shortcut, that sort of stuff. The questions vary slightly from individual to individual. Finally, Hull, he gets to your cell. If you're ready, Hull, we will release the first half of your friends now. And it was Adrian. You said Adrian, Kat, and who else?
Jade.
All right. Much like when you came in, though I may not have mentioned it when you came in. You're essentially handcuffed as they take you out. They carry you through narrow corridors in the ship.
And one of the things that I actually need to do right now, just because I thought about it.
What's that?
Throughout the course of our conversations, I'd like to run insight.
Oh, okay.
As I actually have that as a skill.
Making sure he's being honest with you.
As far as I know, we have had suck tonight, haven't we?
Sweet,
A
merciful
little
crap.
bit.
Yeah, we're cursed.
Our
dice are cursed.
I rolled a 20 for the first roll I did tonight. And I don't think we've had anything above... What? I don't think we have anything above a 5.
Alright. Intimidation, persuasion. Let's see. Plus 2. So what is it you're wanting to see, Patrick, or what trying to notice, Patrick?
Just to see his sincerity, whether he actually is. Because, considering the people we're dealing with here.
Mm-hmm. You believe without a shadow of a doubt
That he's being honest. I kind of got that. That roll is a roll that does not question.
I don't know if you can make that out. But the skull of those dice are also a 1, so...
Oh.
He rolled as bad as you did.
Oh.
You don't doubt for a second that he will kill any of your friends, anybody on this station, or on this ship, basically, in all likelihood, to get what he wants. By the same token, when he told you your friends don't know anything that could hurt us, he's being honest. He doesn't strike you as somebody that would, that would backstab you for no reason. You don't, you have little doubt that if he decided it was to his benefit to break your deal or to whack your friends, that he would do it. But when he says he has no reason, you believe him. It's just there's just no point to him doing that, in his opinion. Or to summarize, you think he'll keep the deal. So anyway, those 3 get marched off to the roustabout. It's about a 20-minute walk. The roustabout is powered up. It's ready to go.
Wait,
I don't know that any of you can actually pilot, but
yeah. We'll figure this out, I guess.
Well, something as simple as getting out of a docking bay, the ship can almost do that on its own.
Well, the trick is, though, doesn't Jade have piloting ability?
I don't remember if she had that proficiency or not.
I think we had. I don't think we had anyone with a proficiency in.
The only
Piloting.
person who was proficiency in piloting was the person we were trying to go rescue.
Yep.
So we no longer have a pilot anymore.
Yep. Jim can pilot, and then Danru had the proficiency with vehicles.
Gotcha. The main reason why I wanted this group out, because I know one, Jade's a combatant, Cat's a snake, and Adrian could possibly do a lot of damage to their systems.
Yeah, because Yanni's roaming around the ship right now.
And more importantly, I do know that Kat and Adrian have knowledge that I actually distributed.
Oh, yes.
Cat don't understand a damn thing about it.
But you've got it downloaded, which is the important part, as far as he's concerned.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, they march y'all down to the ship. Let's see. I'm going to move y'all off. Samurai goes with y'all. So yeah, you get to the ship. Everything seems to be in working order. Adrian, you're quite certain you're going to need to go over this thing with a fine-tooth comb at some point to get off any bugs they find on it and check out the software.
First thing he's doing is going into the ship system and activating system lock.
Okay.
That prevents anybody from getting into the ship, period, without a specific power. So, and right now he's labeling himself as the only one who can get into the ship systems.
Okay. All right, back over with Hull, Francis. Let's see. Oh, and Jim. That was the other party member. That was in that second half. Oh wait. Yeah. It was 3 and 3. Okay. Outside your door hole, you hear 3 quick bursts of laser fire, or gunfire. Clearly energy weapon.
Interesting.
Your door opens and one of the troops is standing there holding a pistol on you. I had been told to keep a lookout for any information that came up on you and your group. I'll have to admit, I was not expecting you to actually show up at my post.
And I basically just ask, is it the...
Yes, what now?
now I'm blanking on the actual, their name.
The Primorians.
I actually ask Remoran.
Ashen Forged? Are we just using races as names now?
No, I just wanted to confirm that you are what I thought you were.
Yes, we have people everywhere. Let's see.
Might I say something real quick?
Sure, go ahead.
Since Yanni is still out there, could Adrian send a message to the host?
Sure.
Adrian will send a message to the host and said, "Alright, since you want a little bit of cooperation, Here's a bit of show of good faith. You want to know a bit of what we're dealing with? I'd get to whole cell before he's dead.
Looking out the ship, you see Akihiko. What a name. You see him kind of react, and he gestures, and him and several of the troops start heading back to the, out of the hangar bay, presumably back to Holstel.
And I'd hurry if I were you. They don't like interlopers.
At
And you're
Holstel,
one, and you are one now.
At Holstel, guns on your hull. He's like, well, enough pleasantries. I believe we can help each other.
I want off the ship, and what do you require?
I need all the information they've gathered on us, purged from the systems, and everyone that knows the information dead. The shadow technocracy is as bad as it is for miscellaneous mayflies like yourself to know about us. The shadow technocracy would be, well, they would be a real pain to deal with. They would actually be something of a threat, as much as anything can truly threaten us. Basically, you're the small fish. We can let you go this time if you help us take out this bigger fish. And then he's still holding the gun. He stops pointing it at you. What do you say?
And when I say I'm listening, and then it fades to black.
Yes, and then it fades to black.
I'd also like to point out Yanni's recording this.
That's fine. Well, I mean, it wouldn't be fine if he knew about it, but... So anyway, we're going to wrap here for the evening. And we'll see what sort of escape and mayhem can be caused next week.
Time to learn to pilot, guys.
Yep. Well, you still got Jim, presumably. Unless something happens to him. But, So anyway, we're out here for tonight. As always, I'm your GM for the evening, Jason. With me tonight has been Sarah playing Kat, Eric playing Adrian, Patrick playing Hull,
See ya.
and Zach playing Francis.
Night.
We'll be back here tomorrow night, where this time for sure we'll be playing Icons. Then Thursday night it's Maddie's Curse of Strahd game, and then we should be back Monday with another episode of Escorts.
Yep. Where we deal with the aftermath of our very first battle of the campaign.
Oh, did y'all get into a fight last night?
Oh, yeah.
I
Like
was only about
14
7.
bandits.
Yeah,
It was a thing. And then we turned them all into flowers.
As one does.
As one does it. First level?
Yeah, basically. They literally turned into flowers, just went gone.
Baby Pope is badass.
Baby Pope is badass, yes.
So anyway, signing off. We'll see y'all later.